And we knew that if we continue like this, you would discover that there are still many that have been raped by this predator.
Thank you, sir. Now, your full name.
My name is
So those were scenes from the
protest here in Lagos and Abuja. So it looks
like a
like
lot of passionate, deeply held convictions on this subject.
It's so interesting how vastly they differ. The Abuja protest, which is a silent protest, and the Lagos protest, which I guess it's, I mean, they're just different objectives. But the Lagos protest was very clear in the sense that they just want him to step down. So it's almost sort of like taking a step-by-step approach. And I think that, and the fact that there are some of them that are members of the congregation.
Of the church, yes.
How difficult this must be for everyone. It's really, it's a sad story. It's just a sad story.
It is. But now we have with us a tech entrepreneur. So innovators continue to experiment on ways of simplifying the process of dispatch and delivery of utilities across the service sector value chain. However, another frontier seems to have been opened with a new application that considerably reduces the time lapse between ordering and delivery of logistics. We're now being joined by Justin Enuonye, a tech entrepreneur who just developed Doorstep, an app that has the capacity to considerably reduce the time lapse between ordering and delivery of logistical necessities, including across-the-counter, on-the-run office meals. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us about Doorstep and how you turned the lemons of Lagos traffic into the lemonade of this business.
Okay, you want to tell you the whole story how it started?
Oh, yes.
Okay, a couple of years ago when I moved back, after my BSc obviously, when I moved back to Nigeria, I noticed the increase in, small businesses, restaurants, and all of that, but one thing remained the same, which is, of course, the traffic situation. And I kept thinking, what can I do to, kind of use technology to help improve, solve a problem. And at that moment, that was when the idea of Doorstep was birthed. So I decided, I first of all did my market research, and I met a couple restaurant owners. At that point, a lot of people were not too receptive to the idea. I mean, they felt like people would not even buy the idea. But I had already started using this, a similar app, abroad. And at the time, they did not really, want to talk about it. Exactly. So, but I still went on. I did the first trial. The first one we developed was called Just in Time, which, is like, my name is Justin, and we call that Just in Time. But we finished the app, but we did not have, restaurants jump on it. So I gave it time, and then Uber came along. So people started getting comfortable with, using mobile apps to do things, paying over your phone and all of that. So I decided that it was time for me to, get back in this business and see what I can do. So we developed Doorstep, and we started talking to restaurants again, and it was pretty easy this time.
It was a different conversation.
Yes, it was a different conversation because people were already used to this, and they started seeing the real problems that comes with the traffic situation in Lagos, and it was easy for me to convince the restaurants.
I want to ask you, because you bring up something very interesting, which is that even though you were sort of early to the game as an early adopter and you wanted to work with other early adopters, how do you think that sometimes being too early can affect your business model, and how sometimes global brands like Uber can be great in desensitizing people to an opportunity?
Well, being too early can obviously affect your business model in the sense that, I'll take Nigeria, for example. Technology is something that we're just, opening up to. So having a kind of advanced business model at that time was a problem, because a lot of business owners would not even want to listen to you. They're used to the, conventional way of doing business. They don't want to hear anything up. So sometimes you introduce these things and then you kind of step back and watch the market grow and watch the people get used to these things. So
So you really have to have you have to have a patience,
Yes,
patience,
yes,
especially when you're bringing new
New
technology
technology to
in.
Nigeria. But it's pretty different now because there are a lot of things coming in. There are similar, food apps like this and other things. So it's
So
easier
talk
now.
about more of the mobility sort of revolution around apps, which is sort of this movement from place to place. There sort of seems to be a buzz going on between GoKada, there is Max NG. There are quite a number of people that are solving this lemonade problem, as Tundu put it.
Yeah, the thing is, the population of Lagos, we know, is quite huge, and it increases by the day. So it's kind of makes people think, how do we solve this problem? And with technology, we're becoming a lazier society, so to speak, and people want to do everything from the convenience of their phone. I could spend the whole day doing all my businesses from my phone, and if I could actually buy food from my phone and order a taxi from my phone, why not? It cuts away the anxiety of worrying about when you're going to get to a certain place or when you're going to get this done. So I think at this point, young people are actually doing a lot to bring in, make it easy for people to do, go about their day-to-day activity using their phones.
So what exactly is the problem that you solve? What's the scope of your activities?
Okay, the problem that we solve is a logistic problem, basically. With our mobile app, you can, do your, order your food without having to leave your office. Now, people have a very busy schedule in Lagos. You cannot just wake up and say, I want to do this at this, at a certain time, and you're able to do it due to the traffic situation. So with the mobile application, you really do not have to bother about a lot.
You have to have your own personal mobility strategy every day.
You're stuck for 4 hours.
Exactly. So with all these apps coming up, you can actually do a lot of things while still at your work. You don't have to leave your desk, and you can achieve a lot of things too.
So when you say when you look at the logistic problem you're filling, help me understand what that means, because if I order something from Ghana High, if I order something from Ghana High, it's probably about 600 naira, 700 naira. How do you get paid? Because my cost is, I already only have 600 naira that I'm spending for lunch.
Okay, so how do we get paid? We have, an agreement with this restaurant, and, we take a certain percentage, they subsidize their prices to give us a certain percentage. And the reason is this: they see the traffic that you drive to their restaurant. Ghana High might be your most favorite place to eat, but you cannot go to Ghana High every day just because of the traffic situation. But if you can do it with our app, and as well as a lot of other people, the restaurant owner understands, the traffic you drive to the business. They understand the money you bring to the business. So subsidizing,
they're willing to give you a transaction fee.
Exactly. Subsidizing a certain percentage shouldn't be a problem for them.
So what are your plans for future expansion? Because I recently read about Deliveroo, which is in the UK. It's not even the biggest one in the UK, but it's pretty big. And Amazon has invested $600 million in Deliveroo. That means that your business, you've tapped into something huge. So what are your plans for expansion?
Okay, well, I'll say the platform the Doorstep platform generally is an errand platform. For now we have just the food app and the pick-up and drop-off, parcels. So, but we intend to include a lot of other things like grocery shopping, pharmaceuticals, and all of that.
Because there's a lot of scope to expand here.
Exactly.
There's a lot you can do in that space.
Exactly.
So did you have to raise money to start the business?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that journey, because other people are
Yes.
watching, like, I have this hot app. What should I do?
Okay, well, in Nigeria, raising money is a lot of problem, which we all know. So how I raised money was I spoke to family first and spoke to friends. And, it's easy for you to convince people when you have a great idea. You don't have to necessarily go out to financial institutions or banks or, because you're starting a business. You're not even sure how it's going to go. So the best bet for you is talk to your family, raise some money from them and start as small as possible and organically grow your business and see if you're in the right, place to, explore other money-raising options.
So now you guys have done a friends and family
Yes.
round. And how many bikes do you have on the road now?
We have 20 bikes on the road, and we own all this. We employ all these riders.
Okay. Do you ever see a point where people will sort of bring in people that actually own their bikes? Because right now, most of these mobility companies actually own the bike. What do you feel the future of mobility businesses is in Nigeria?
In terms of owning your assets, like your bikes, well, we're actually, kind of switching from that business model.
Okay.
Because it's a lot,
lot of
capital intensive to own all these assets. So we're moving into speaking with other smaller logistic companies because, I mean, if you go on your social media, you see a lot of them pop up every day. So we're trying to, bring them together under our platform, to make it look more organized, so we can receive these orders and, dispatch it out to all of them, and then we get a certain percentage from all these companies.
So you outsource. So how do you promote your app, apart from being on shows like this? How do you market your app? Because there's just so many apps being developed. There's so many apps out there. How do you make yours stand out?
Okay, well, the marketing space has, shifted a little bit. It's moving towards the digital kind of marketing at the moment. So we are using every digital marketing platform to reach out to people because, honestly, our target market are millennials, the people that use their phones every day. And this is where you find them. You find them on this platform. So we're using all the social media platforms or the digital marketing platforms to reach out to these people.
Wow, well, very cool. But so what next for you now? Are you guys going to raise more money, or are you guys going to expand into new cities? Tell us some cities that you're looking at.
Yes, we have a plan to expand into new cities. As a matter of fact, we're looking, at Abuja. We've had a couple meetings with people, and we've had a couple meetings with investors. But for me, I think, accepting money from investors is not. You don't just take it because of the money. The person's, the person's vision has to align with yours.
No, go ahead.
The person's vision has to align with yours, so you have to be careful when raising money. So we're looking to raise money, but we're being careful about it.
All right. Well, we wish you all the best and hope that this becomes one of the big Deliveroo stories.
Yeah.
So we hope you come back with a Deliveroo story.
Definitely.
Good luck with everything, Justin.
Thank you very much.